Hey, welcome to Finding My Wings. This is Jesse. I am going to be looking at the Mtech shift springs for the Scion FRS, Toyota GT86, 86, and Subaru BRZ. So you get two springs here, and really what they act to do is to change the tension level when you're moving between gears. So first to second, second to third, third to second, second to first. You can feel that the car is a little bit notchy. Of course, there's a lot of guides around being able to change your oil in the transmission and be able to get that fixed a little bit. But still, it doesn't quite slam the way that I'd like it to, and this is a pretty simple, easy installation. It just requires a few simple tools, and it can really improve, as far as we've heard, that actual shift's feel on the ZN6 chassis cars. So again, this is a cheap little part that you can buy from most speed shops that support the 86, and things like FT Speed, of course. So not really much to show here. Two springs, one for positive, one for negative, basically, and let's correct me if I'm using the wrong terms there, but we'll do a bit of an installation and really talk about how it changes the feel and whether it was worth the money. Okay, so reviewing these Mtech shift springs that we installed. As you can see, it's been 4 or 5 months since I actually installed them. I just didn't even realize that I'd never filmed a review, so I figured I would film a review, post it up, see if anybody ever had an advantage of actually watching this and seeing my opinion. So there's two springs in the car. There's one that really handles the left to right movement of the shifter, and one that handles the front forwards backwards motion of the shifter. So when I'm shifting down to fifth, that's a certain one. When I'm shifting down into fourth, that's actually both springs kind of coming into effect. And so all these springs do is really they tighten it up. So when I go from third to second, it just pops into gear a little bit better. You know that it's in the gear. You don't have a question whether you're kind of partially in gear, if you're about to grind a gear or something like that. You just feel it hit in, and once it's hit, it's done. I actually feel like it makes the movement of the shifter a lot more smooth. This car has a stock shifter in it. Stock oil in it from the factory as far as I'm aware. No short throw, which might come in the future, but not right now. And so to me, this was like a great option pre-short throw. It'll still stay in effect for a short throw shifter. So your short throw will only change really the dynamics and the angles and lever points, I guess I should say, of where the shifter actually moves. And so you actually have less of a throw. There's less distance between first and second. This spring says when you're going from first to second, the spring helps you out and kind of pushes it into gear a little bit alongside you. Personally, that's something that I felt driving the car. Occasionally, the classic like second to third, first to second, second to first kind of realm. It felt weird. It didn't feel like the car was engaging. And for some reason in my car, particularly going from fourth to fifth, I had the occasional point where it felt like it was in gear, just kind of not thinking about it in traffic. And you let go of the clutch and it was not in gear, unfortunately. And so easy, quick change, slam on the clutch, put it back in gear, and you're good to go. But it wasn't worth it, especially driving this car in traffic, heavy traffic, hills, Toronto traffic occasionally, things like that. It's nice to just know that your car's in the right gear. You don't have to do anything special to really know where you're at. I do have the shift display up on the dashboard as well, which helps a lot. That's just a setting in the car that you can enable to show what gear you're in. And of course the shift light that comes on at like 7,000 RPM for where I set it. But this to me was a big helper. It felt light, it felt kind of numb first getting in the car. And I think these springs were the biggest help that I could have imagined. It was something that I'd never really considered in another car until finding these. And I think for that like $40, $50 value, just tremendous value. Makes me a lot more confident to shift, especially quickly, enthusiastically, whether it's just through corners or in town with a lot of traffic and you're just back and forth between speeds all the time. Definitely a worthwhile product. Install was pretty easy. I didn't really film it. I just kind of did it on a day when I was home alone. It wasn't easy to get the camera up in there, and all the points that I tried to show, I failed to show. So I can post up a link to the actual Mtech video, which I recommend. Pretty comprehensive on how to install this thing. To me, this is easily worth it at the cost. Makes the car a lot more enjoyable, a lot more confident, a lot more safe to drive, in my opinion. If you don't have a problem with it, or you've never felt like it's hard to know when you're in gear, that it's just too light throwing between gears, probably not worth it for you, but I would try it out. It goes well with a short throw shifter as well, and will still affect that in the exact same way. So for me, thank you very much for watching my videos. This is Finding My Wings. I appreciate any likes, comments, subscriptions, and of course share it with anybody you know with one of these cars, or that's just interested to learn more about what it really takes to make a fun little novice car like this your own. Pleasure to drive. So thank you very much, and I wish everybody the best out there.